This one's for all you downstreaming junkies. In today's episode, we are discussing how to downstream a house. That's easy enough, guys. You know, we at Mr. Bubbles, we have basically a two-step approach. You're going to sauce up that wall, which means, you know, you're going to hit it with a solution, a chemical of some kind. And then once that's done and the solution has killed all of the organics living on that wall, you're going to switch to rinse, and you're going to rinse the walls, the windows, and the plants until everything is chemical free. And you can see here, you know, I'm hitting this with a house mix. And what you want to do, guys, is you want to start, you know, I started at the very left of the wall there. You want to start one corner with your fan tip from your J-rod, and you want to go from corner to corner as far as the fan tip allows you to go. And then once you've done it as much as you can with your fan tip, like you see me doing right now, you switch to your shooter tip so you can go second story, so you can hit those fascia boards and the soffits up there. And that's what you want to do in every single wall. Now, I will say this about this first phase. I would say the number one mistake that a lot of new guys make when they're learning how to downstream a house is they spend way too much time trying to, you know, make that wall clean right then and there. And guys, you know, when you're downstreaming a wall, it does not work that way. The solution has a reaction time that we call a dwell time, which means a time in which the chemical needs to be able to, you know, react with the organics there and kill that bacteria, that algae and mildew that's living on that wall. And that's typically will be anywhere between 8 to 12%, depending on the strength of your solution. In our case of Mr. Bubbles, we've noticed it's right around 8 minutes. So what you want to do is you want to spray the solution, right? Every inch of that siding, you want to make sure that you get solution on it and move on to the next wall. You see here, I'm already on the back of the house. And so, you know, you're not going to spend, you're spending anywhere, let's say 5 to 8 minutes. I would say 5, 6, 7 minutes tops on each side. So you got a house that has 4 sides. You're going to spend anywhere between 20 to 25 minutes on the first phase, which is the soap phase. And by the way, that soap phase is divided into 2 parts itself. The second part of that soap phase is the spot treating, and we're going to talk about that in a second here when we do it. And guys, stay to the very end here in this video, because we are doing a downstreaming versus soft washing mini debate here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between the two, and I will let you know in the end which one that I prefer for new guys that are just coming into the industry. So downstreaming is something that is definitely going to be your bread and butter. I mean, this is the way that professionals utilize to, you know, be able to clean all kinds of surfaces. And by the way, guys, you know, if you are new to the industry, and let's say you have less than 3 years and you're listening to this and you don't even know what a house mix is and how to do it, I'm going to put on the screen here for you a thumbnail to our episode 10. And that episode is called The 8 Essential Chemicals of the Pressure Washing Business. In that episode, we discuss all the chemicals, the basic chemicals that, you know, professionals use. So we talk about your rust removals, your degreasers, your SH or bleach, and then also your various surfactants for roof cleaning and house mix and all that. And what I really love about that episode for you guys is that there is a batch mixing calculator there, so it teaches you how to make your own solution. So I highly recommend that. I will put the link to that video down below in the description, so make sure you watch that, and it'll give you a good understanding of how to make your own bleach solution. So you see here, you guys, I mean, it's the same process over and over again. You want to go with your fan tip from one corner to the other corner, and what we call from ground to gutter. You want to go from low all the way to the top. You never want to start from the top because you're going to create streaking. And then, you know, if streaking, if you leave it on there, it's really hard to get it off. And then also it can look pretty unprofessional. But also when you go from the bottom to the top, you're also getting a lot more chemical on that siding. So, you know, it's going to work a little bit better for you. So, you know, in this first phase, like I said, you just want to make sure, guys, again, you're not wasting a lot of time. That's your tip of the day, by the way. I'll put it up here, that you're not wasting a lot of time with putting that chemical on the wall. The idea is to just put the chemical and move on. And you see there on the screen there, guys, the bag over the Verizon box. It's something we emphasize in every single house wash video that we do. The very first thing actually that I did when I got to this house is I went all around and did my house protection and plant protection. I moved a couple of potted plants that they had. There was one plant, I think it was on a deck, that I moved out of my way, and then I covered like 3 outlets with the blue tape, and then you see there the Verizon box is all covered up. You want to make sure you do that because the chemical will get back there and it will fry your Verizon box. It'll trip up your breaker box and all of that stuff. And then also, as customary, guys, we're going to talk about how we picked up this customer. And how we got this customer is something that I've mentioned before, but I think it's worth mentioning again. We got this customer because of our sign that we put out in front of the 7-Eleven. And I'll put a picture up here for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. It's an A-frame sign. We ordered these from Amazon. Guys, I highly recommend you guys pick these up and you start doing this form of marketing. I'm gonna explain to you how we did this. So basically what I did is I got this A-frame signs that you're seeing here on the screen. I got this at Amazon. And I ordered, I think it was from Vistaprint. You order, it's called an insert. You just send them your design and they send you an insert for you to insert inside your A-frame sign. And then what I did is essentially I went to a couple of my local 7-Elevens and I said, hey, how would you like to have your sidewalks washed for free? No cost to you. Every month I'll come by and I'll pressure wash your sidewalk. And the only thing I want in exchange is to be able to leave my advertising sign out here in front. And man, has that gotten me some business through the year. We're talking, I've done probably over the years, over 300 or 400 houses just because of these signs that we've been doing with 7-Elevens. And it turns out that in my area here, all 3 7-Elevens in my town are owned by the same owner. And then we ended up doing his house and some other businesses he's had, and you know, so that's worked out really great for us. And guys, it's a super inexpensive way of doing marketing, but man, does it get you the results and the customers that you need. So I highly recommend that. The idea is to put them in 7-Elevens that have gas stations. So I'm gonna leave, if you scroll through the description, I'm gonna leave the link on Amazon where you can order those and pick those up. I highly recommend that, because again, it only costs you $200 and a little bit of labor that you're gonna give them every month, and then we pick up anywhere between 5 to 10 customers every month from each sign. So that's really going to work out for you guys. And so anyway, back to the task at hand here, guys, with this downstreaming this house. You see me going high. You know, I go as high as I can with my fan tip. Guys, this house was really dirty. It had a tremendous amount of algae, a lot of mildew growth. The soffits up there, they were really nasty, so I'm hitting that really good with my shooter tip. And I'm about to start the second part of phase number 1, which is the spot treating. Now, spot treating, you know, you just want to go real quickly. I don't typically waste more than, it's usually less than a minute per side. You literally, with the spot treating, you're just looking for bird poop or any green or black or any inorganic stain that was a little bit more resistant to your solution. And you want to hit that, and then, you know, you want to hit that like the left side, then the back side, and so forth. Each side, you want to hit it with that spot treating, just so the solution can work a little bit more on it. Because remember, pressure does not clean. You need that solution to get in there and kill those organics before you can switch to your to rinse mode. And the other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, here we are, guys. We're spot treating right here. You see, I'll just hit a couple spots, high and low, and then move on to the other side and the other side. So downstreaming versus soft washing, guys. To me, it's a very interesting debate. I come from a downstreaming background. It's only been about 3 years that we switched a lot of our systems over to soft washing. I've been doing soft washing for a long time, but we used to do it when I first started doing soft washing, I used to do it with a backpack sprayer. That's how I used to do roofs, and I would do fences and decks that way. Like the backpack sprayers that landscapers use, that's what I had. And then I switched to a 12-volt pump, and I did that for, I want to say, like 4, maybe 5 years. Excuse me. And then now, about 3 years ago, we switched our soft wash systems to a metering system. And, we have AR45, we have Comet pumps, and, that's the way that we go with it. But, going back, so downstreaming and soft washing, in a way, they're both a way to express soft washing in comparison to pressure washing. But the biggest difference is with soft washing, you're still using with downstreaming, you're still using a pressure washer, right? I'm using a 4,000 psi, 5.5 gallon a minute machine to do this house. You see what I'm saying? So I'm still using a pressure washer, but the chemical coming out of there is coming out through my chemical injector. That's what downstreaming. That's where the word downstreaming comes from, because of the part downstream injector. And soft washing, whether you're doing it with a pump sprayer, or you're doing it with a 12-volt system, or you're doing it with an AR, a 45 pump like we have, you're still under the 200 psi. Anything above, I would say 200 or 300. Let's say 300 psi and up. Yeah, you're probably not going to be considered soft washing after that. But so soft washing is anything that is, I would say, maximum of 200 psi coming out of that wand. And then the other big difference between soft washing and downstreaming is just the strength of the solution. When you're downstreaming a house, guys, that solution is getting dipped into a lot of water that is coming through your line, and that water is getting even further diluted. That chemical is getting diluted by more and more and more water. And then with soft washing, you're drawing literally the chemical that is in that tank. So if you're using like a 12-volt system, for example, your siphon tube is literally drawing. If you got, for example, a 50-50 mix in there, which is a 6%, that's what you're using to be able to clean whatever it is that you're cleaning. But if I had a 50-50 mix in my downstreaming tank, that's getting further diluted by water. So they're both. So here's the thing. In truth, this is what we think. If you're a new guy, like let's say you have less than 3 years in a business, for you, we do not recommend soft washing. We recommend what you see me doing on the screen right here, which is downstreaming, which is really just another way of doing soft washing. And so, with downstreaming, it's going to be a lot safer for you. It's going to be safer for the plants. The chemical's not as strong. And, this can really be your bread and butter. Now, that being said, at some point, you're going to have to invest in some kind of soft washing system, because the truth of the matter is we would not be able to run our company without both of them. And, they make a good marriage, soft washing and downstreaming. If you have the capability of doing both, you're going to make a lot of money, because you're going to run into wooden decks and wooden fences and roofs. And and the list goes on. There's many, many things that you need soft washing for. So the bottom line is, for new guys, we recommend downstreaming. And then once you've had about 3, maybe 4 years in the field, then you start getting into soft washing. And again, guys, that's what I'm doing here. Once all of the organics are off that wall, you see here, now I am going through, and all I'm doing is rinsing. I'm rinsing the siding, I'm rinsing the plants, I'm rinsing the windows, and getting all of the chemical. You want to make sure when you leave this property, when I leave, this property has to be chemical free. That wall, chemical free. Those windows, chemical free, and the plants, chemical free. But that's what we recommend at Mr. Bubbles. You know, once you start to get a lot more confident in your ability and you get more experience under your belt and all that, then yeah, I invest more in your soft washing. But to have both systems going at the same time is going to be a lot better for you. It's going to work a lot better for you because of the simple fact that they're two very versatile systems. But anyway, that's all I got for today. I really appreciate you guys coming to my channel and watching this how to downstream a house video. I also highly recommend you guys watch the next one as well. In that episode, we are discussing the 8 things you need to have in place in order to make $50,000 a month in a pressure washing business. And I got some great stuff to share with you in that one as well. And by the way, if you want to send me questions, you can find my email in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.